إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمدا عبد الله ورسوله. Brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome again to the inevitable journey. Brothers and sisters in Islam, we are approaching the end of that heavy and long day. We are now experiencing and witnessing the scene of the scale as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it so vivid in the Quran. And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the one whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala entrusted to deliver the Quran to you and also to explain it to you through the revelation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to him, and letting the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam expressing it in his own words, which is the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, وَنَضَعُ الْمَوَازِينَ الْقِسْطَ لِيَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ فَلَا تُظْلَمُ نَفْسٌ شَيْئًا وَإِنْ كَانَ مِثْقَالَ حَبَّةٍ مِّنْ خَرْدَلٍ أَتَيْنَا بِهَا وَكَفَى بِنَا حَاسِبِينَ. And we will erect the scales of justice in the day of resurrection. وَنَضَعُ الْمَوَازِينَ الْقِسْطَ لِيَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ. No soul will be wronged. فَلَا تُظْلَمُ نَفْسٌ شَيْئًا. And if that soul has earned the weight of an atom, good or bad, we will bring it forth and we will place it in that scale, and it will be weighed for that person or against that person. And sufficient we are as reckoners. Brothers and sisters in Islam, the result of the scene of the scale is Jannah or hellfire. We talked the last episode about the evidence that the scale is a scale like the one that we see here in this world, but not identical to it, because this one belongs to the hereafter, to the next life. Yes, Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam told us about a scale. Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma told us that this scale has two pans, like this scale that we have, and a tongue, the thing that you see in the middle of a scale. So, but is it like our scale here? It looks like it, but definitely it's different. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam told us, and again I remind you, even so that statement is a statement that is attributed to Salman al-Farisi radiyallahu an, and we know if the statement of a companion like Salman and other companions has to do with the unseen, he would not be able to say this in his own. He must have heard it from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or heard it from another companion who heard it from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Salman al-Farisi radiyallahu an described for us the scale in the day of resurrection, and he said, if the heavens, the seven heavens and the seven earth will be placed in one pan of the scale, lawasi'at, it will take it, it will accommodate that size. And the angels were amazed at this, and they asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Allah, who will come with such deeds that will fill that huge pan? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, whomever I will from my servants. And then the angels will say, Subhanak, glory be to you, ma abadnaka haqqa ibadatik. We have not worshipped you the way that you are deserving to be worshipped and obeyed. Brothers and sisters in Islam, towards the last episode, we were unable to cover the issue of what would be placed in the scale. Very quickly, we remind you that there is a consensus out there that there are three things that will be placed in the right pan of the scale. Number one, the righteous people, the righteous individual, if he was a believer. Number two, the righteous deeds. Number three, the records of the good deeds. In the left side of the scale will be the evil deeds and the records of the evil deeds. And with each one we give in evidence. Number one, some of you may be amazed at the fact that deeds will be placed in the scale. Because there are deeds that had a form or does not have a form, like giving a sadaqah. How the sadaqah will be placed in the scale? Reciting the Quran, how will it be placed in the scale? And so forth. The salah, how will it be placed in the scale? And so forth. We tell you that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in the Quran that deeds, whether they are good or evil, will be transformed into a physical objects, and these physical objects will be placed in the scale in the day of resurrection. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam told us about good character. Hadith Abi Darda fi Sunan Abi Dawood. Good character is the heaviest thing in the scale. Good character does not have a form, but yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will transform good character into a form, and it will be placed in the scale. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam also told us about other deeds, other things that will be placed, that will be transformed in the day of resurrection. So the deeds will be transformed into physical forms, and or objects materialized into physical objects, and these physical objects will have a weight, and it will be placed in the scale. The second thing will be the people themselves, whether he is a kafir or whether he is a believer, he will be placed in the scale, and then the records of the people, the records that contain these good deeds, will be also placed in the scales. Brothers and sisters in Islam, the result of that scene is success or loss. القارعة ما القارعة وما أدراك ما القارعة يوم يكون الناس كالفراش المبثوث وتكون الجبال كالعهن المنفوش فأما من ثقلت موازينه فهو في عيشة راضية. As the one whose scales will be heavier, he will be in a pleasant life. وأما من خفت موازينه فأمه هاوية. And as for the person whose scales will be light, his abode will be an abyss, a place doomed down there. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا هِيَ. And what do you know about it? نَارٌ حَامِيَةٌ. Blazing fire. Brothers and sisters in Islam, some episode like this that talks about a scene of the day of reckoning, the scene of the scale, how would you learn and benefit from such a thing? Is to learn the type of deeds that can make your scale heavy in the day of resurrection. And the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam told us about it. You know, the best thing that can make your scale heavy is understanding La ilaha illallah properly. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam told us about one person from the ummah, and this person, by the way, gives hope for everybody. Listen to this. يستخلص الله رجلا من أمتي. The hadith في سنن ابن ماجه وسنن الترمذي. Hadith Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As رضي الله عنهما. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will single out one person from my followers in the day of resurrection, and he will bring him. And this person has committed evil deeds that were recorded in 99 records, books. Look at this now. If you unfold each book, it will reach as far as his eyesight reaches. Ya Allah. I mean, this is a lot of evil deeds. A lot of evil deeds. 99 books of evil deeds. Each book, if you unfold it, it will reach as far as your eyesight reaches. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask him this question. Were you wronged? You did not do any of that? He will say, I did it. Were my scribes unfair to you? Did they record something that you did not do? He will say, no, I did all of this. And he's about to leave. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will command him, احضر وزنك. Come, bring your deeds to be placed in the scale. And then he will say, Ya Rab, this is something that is impossible for me to save off. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell him, no, today there is no injustice. We have one bitaqa for you, one card for you. And he will say, Ya Rab, وَمَا تَفْعَلُ هَذِهِ الْبِطَاقَةِ. What will this card do? in front of 99 books of evil deeds, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, إِنَّهُ لَا يُظْلَمُ عِنْدِ الْيَوْمَ أَحَدًا. Today, no one will be wronged. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, brothers and sisters in Islam, these records, 99 records of evil deeds will be placed in one pan of the scale. And that bitaqa, that record will be placed in the other pan. You know what? That record will be heavier, that bitaqa, that card will be heavier in the scale than the 99 records of evil deeds. You know what is written in that card, brothers and sisters in Islam? La ilaha illallah. This person, in spite of doing all this evil, but he had the best comprehension of the word, of the kalima, La ilaha illallah. I don't want you to be deluded by this hadith, that a lot of people would say, well, all I have to do now is to just understand La ilaha illallah properly, and I'll go and I do whatever I want. Imagine this, the scholars of hadith, the experts have said about this hadith that this is only one person from the ummah. One person, so the chances are not high. And again, you must confirm La ilaha illallah in action. La ilaha illallah is a word that you believe in your heart, you pronounce with your tongue, and it must be reflected in the rest of your limbs. But الشاهد, or the important thing from this hadith, that La ilaha illallah outweighed 99 books of evil deeds. So La ilaha illallah, if you have the proper understanding of La ilaha illallah, it will help your scale to be heavy in the day of resurrection. What are the other things that can make your scale heavy, inshallah? Let's take a short break and come back and talk about those. Remember, this is the purpose of the inevitable journey, to prepare for it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
The scale of justice will be brought before man. Now you shall have to explain your whole lifespan.